we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
Welcome to the first episode of World of Africa 2026. I'm Eric Njoka. This week, the landlocked East African country of Uganda remains our focus, which has come out of a challenging election in which its long-serving President Yoweri Museveni emerged victorious and will lead his nation for a seventh term. It reinforces the 81-year-old's claim that he still commands the support of the overwhelming majority of Ugandans after seizing power as a rebel commander in 1986, ending the rule of the Milton Obote regime. The show starts now. For supporters of Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni, his resounding victory in the just concluded election is a vindication of his 40-year-long rule. He won with 72% of the vote, close to his highest ever tally of 74% in Uganda's first direct presidential election in 1996. But Museveni's main election rival, the charismatic former pop star Bobi Wine, dismissed the result as fake and said he had gone into hiding following a raid on his home by the security forces. Here is our cover report. Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni was declared the winner of this year's election, extending his 4 decades in power by another 5 years. He gained 72% of the vote, the Election Commission announced, against 25% for his closest challenger, Bobi Wine. African Union election observers said they saw no evidence of ballot stuffing. Museveni first came to power as a rebel leader in 1986, but since then has won 7 elections.
Yoweri Tibuhaburwa Kaguta Museveni, 7,946,772 votes, having obtained the highest number of votes in the election, and the votes cast in his favor being more than 50% of the valid votes cast at the election. The Commission hereby declares the elected president declares candidate Yoweri Tibuhaburwa Kaguta Museveni the duly elected president of the Republic of Uganda.
Soon after the announcement, Museveni's supporters went out in their hundreds on the streets in celebration. The re-elected leader did not waste time and gave his first speech after his win, and it was nothing short of a vitriol against his opponents.
The opposition were lucky because 10 million of my people did not turn up. They would have been embarrassed badly. I congratulate the people of Uganda I asked the confused people to come back to sanity, because what they are planning, what they wanted to do, we already know, and we have already mobilized together with the people. Much of it, the residual should stop, because we know we shall get all of them if they don't stop.
The opposition, including Bobi Wine, whose real name is Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, has condemned what he described as unfair electoral process and alleged abductions of his polling agents. Electoral officials face questions about the failure of biometric voter identification machines, which caused delays in the start of the voting in urban areas, including the capital Kampala, that are opposition strongholds.
We declined to receive the certificate because we believe that the certificate is not a reflection of what transpired on polling day. It is a representation of a fabrication that has been perfected by the Commission, probably working in cahoots with the NRM. So we do not recognize it, we do not recognize its efficacy, and we have no business picking a document that we do not recognize.
81-year-old Museveni has stayed in power over the years by rewriting the rules. The last legal obstacle to his rule, term and age limits, have been removed from the constitution, and some of Museveni's possible rivals jailed or sidelined. He has not said when he will retire. The security forces were a constant presence throughout the election campaign, and Wine said authorities followed him and harassed his supporters using tear gas against them. He campaigned in a flak jacket and helmet due to his security fears.
They are scared of the people. They know that the people are voting out a dictator. But as you can see, all the military and the police are under capture. What they are doing is illegal. They are being given, they are being given illegal orders to torture people, to beat up people. But the people are not giving up. The sound you hear, those are sound bombs and tear gas canisters exploding among innocent people.
Uganda has not witnessed a peaceful transfer of presidential power since independence from British colonial rule 6 decades ago. Veteran opposition figure Kizza Besigye, a 4-time presidential candidate, remains in prison after he was charged with treason in February 2025. According to sources close to the presidency, authority at State House has become increasingly decentralized, with decisions once taken directly by Museveni now channeled through a tight inner circle of relatives and long-time associates. And for the first time in the country's modern history, all security matters, both internal and external, are overseen by the Chief of Defense Forces, the 51-year-old General Kainerugaba, the president's son. It suggests that Uganda's future is being shaped and increasingly controlled by Museveni's son, even if he does not hold the title of head of state yet. Africa Bureau, WION, World is One. Let's now head to the Horn of Africa region, and Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud attended the inauguration of Abdi Kadir Ahmed Ola Al-Ili as president of the newly created Northeast State, Somalia's 6th federal member state since its formation in August. In Las Anod, a city also claimed by the breakaway region of Somaliland, it was the first visit by a sitting Somali president to Las Anod in more than 40 years. The president's tour has raised the differences between Somalia and Somaliland. But what's really causing the friction? Let's find out in this next report.
Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud's visit to a provincial capital claimed by the breakaway region of Somaliland. The first visit there by a sitting president in over 40 years caused a stir. Mahmoud was attending the inauguration of the president of the newly created Northeast state, which became Somalia's 6th federal state in August. It was the first visit by a Somali president since 1984. Somalia is a federation of semi-autonomous states, some of which have fraught relations with the central government in Mogadishu. The Northeast state comprises the regions of Sul, Sanaag, and Kane, all territories Somaliland claims as integral to its borders. Somaliland had controlled Lasanad since 2007 but was forced to withdraw in 2023 after violent clashes with Somali forces and pro-Mogadishu militias left scores dead.
Today, I state that Northeastern Administration is formally recognized as an official federal member state of Federal Republic of Somalia. I say clearly that these people confirm to the world and to the Somali population that the country cannot be divided.
Somaliland reacted swiftly. Minister of the Presidency, Kadar Hussein Abdi, said, "Lasanad is Somaliland and we are committed to resolving differences through dialogue and peaceful means." Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud must put his own house in order. Somaliland's recognition is now a reality and no one can change that.
It's good to talk to you, and before anything else, I want you to know that I'm signing now, as we speak, Israel's official recognition of Somaliland and its right of self-determination. Our friendship is seminal and historic. So I'm very, very happy and I'm very proud of this day, and I want to wish you and the people of Somaliland the very, very best there.
Israel sparked controversy last December by recognizing Somaliland. The self-declared republic on the Gulf of Aden has become central to a struggle over military access, ports and regional influence across the Red Sea corridor. Somaliland sits astride one of the world's most strategic maritime choke points, flanked by multiple conflicts in the Horn of Africa and the Middle East. Israel's recognition was fiercely opposed by the Somali government as an attack on its territorial unity, a position backed by most African and Arab leaders. But Somaliland's assets, most crucially the port and airfield at Berbera, which have been developed by the United Arab Emirates since 2016 to be capable of hosting large naval and air assets, outweighed any potential concern about the diplomatic fallout.
Colleagues, meetings such as today's distract from serious work to address issues of international peace and security, including in both the Middle East and the Horn of Africa. Israel has the same right to conduct diplomatic relations as any other sovereign state.
Netanyahu has occupied the Palestinian territories and is always against the statehood of Palestine, which has an international recognition. I would say it's utterly impossible for Israel to form a puppet government inside Somalia through which it conducts its barbaric strategy.
Lost in the geopolitical scramble is any assessment of Somaliland's own case for independence. It has run its own affairs since 1991 and been far more stable and democratic than the rest of Somalia, but those are secondary considerations for its partners. Africa Bureau, WION, World is One.
Let's move to West Africa now. Nigeria has a traditional small-scale jaggery called Mazar Kwela production, primarily in the north, using centuries-old methods to extract unrefined sweetener from sugarcane, offering a natural alternative to imported sugar, though the industry struggles against industrial sugar with potential for value addition like powdering and exporting for greater economic benefit. Here's a report.
In the sugarcane fields of Kano in northern Nigeria, Jamilu Usman is keeping alive a 200-year-old family tradition of producing jaggery, a natural sweetener known locally as mazar kwaila, a small-scale operation that contrasts sharply with a country that imports 96% of its sugar. Nigeria consumes around 1.5 million metric tons of sugar annually, with the vast majority imported as raw sugar and refined at 3 major industrial refineries, Dangote, Bua, and Golden Sugar. Brazil dominates as the largest supplier, holding over 97% of Nigeria's raw sugar import market share. Yet in Kano, traditional producers like Usman continue an ancient craft passed down through generations. Usman and his workers harvest mature sugarcane stalks after the rainy season, feeding them through mills that extract the juice. The liquid is then boiled for hours in large drums until it thickens into a dark syrup.
We inherited this craft of making jaggery from our ancestors, and we have continued in their footsteps. It is a craft of more than 200 years since our forefathers started practicing it. In the past, horses did the hard work of matching out the juice, but we are happy that we have simpler machineries to use.
The hot syrup is poured into steel molds and left to cool and solidify into blocks. Workers then package the jaggery into cartons, each containing 100 pieces, ready for sale. The traditional sweetener has become a profitable export commodity. Retailer Alkasim Zamba said he buys cartons for $19 and exports them to Ghana, Chad, Cameroon, and other countries across the region.
We export it to countries such as Ghana, Chad, Cameroon, and various other countries. There is nowhere we do not take it to sell.
I used to drink my tea with jaggery, that is mazar kwaila in Hausa, instead of using sugar, because it's cheaper and healthier.
While Nigeria's industrial sugar sector relies heavily on imports, spending hundreds of millions of dollars annually, traditional jaggery production represents a local sustainable alternative that has quietly endured for centuries, providing livelihoods in rural communities while meeting demand for natural sweeteners in West African markets. Africa Bureau, WION, World is One.
The Fez Meknes region is moving ahead with a renewed vision for its leather industry after local officials, investors and industry leaders gathered last November to lay the groundwork for a new roadmap aimed at turning the sector into a stronger engine for jobs and industrial growth. The historic legacy of leather craftsmanship in Morocco was recognized and solidified the government's push to modernize and industrialize the sector.
At the Chawara tannery in the old city of Fez in Morocco, locals are seen dyeing, flipping, washing and hanging leather near colored stone vessels, following techniques passed down for centuries. The leather produced from the tannery supplies shops across the souk and the city, supporting livelihoods that have long been tied to the craft.
In cold weather, winter, summer, or any other circumstances, the leather industry in the tannery cannot stop, because the Chawara tannery in the city of Fez is an international industry and a national heritage. It is a traditional industry that cannot stop despite any circumstances.
Founded in the 11th century, the Chawara tanneries are among the oldest and largest in Morocco and sit near Bab Boujloud, the famous Blue Gate of the city of Fez. A new Moroccan study revealed alarming health risks among Fez's traditional tannery workers, linking daily chemical exposure and poor hygiene to high rates of musculoskeletal, skin, and eye diseases. Researchers urge authorities to implement regular medical monitoring, safety training, and protective measures to safeguard the artisans behind Morocco's centuries-old leather craft. While acknowledging the cultural importance and tourism appeal of Fez's tanneries, Doctors warn against overlooking their human cost, stressing that preserving Morocco's artisanal legacy must go hand in hand with protecting the health and safety of its workers.
This is the oldest tannery located in the center of the old city. People used to call it the House of Gold because gold jewelry was made here by their own hands. The best jewelry was made here.
There is an annual tradition where locals wear cow and sheep skins and celebrate like a carnival every year, which is why this entrance was named Bab Boujloud.
According to Morocco's Ministry of Industry and Trade, the leather sector remains deeply rooted in the country's cultural heritage and continues to hold strong export potential. Africa Bureau, WION, World is One.
In rural Western Kenya, a team of trained female motorcycle riders is helping expectant mothers reach clinics and hospitals more quickly. Known as the Boda Girls, they are part of a community-based health initiative designed to overcome one of the most persistent but often overlooked barriers to maternal care: reliable transport. Here's a report.
The roar of engines carries along the dirt roads of Siaya County as a convoy of motorbikes moves through rural villages. Their riders wear bright pink scrubs and helmets, standing out in a landscape where reliable health transport has long been hard to find. These are the Boda Girls. They're female motorcycle riders trained not only in driving, but also in basic maternal health and patient care. Many of them are nurses or community health workers.
There's a gap in transport. And as we all know, that access to transport is one of the major overlooked aspects on women's health and economic empowerment, especially in the rural areas where the distance and the cost are the barriers to access to health.
Their job is to make sure pregnant women living in remote areas get to health facilities for checkups, scans, or deliveries free of charge. The service has been running since 2022 in Siaya, Kisumu, and Homa Bay counties. It was set up by the Matibabu and Tiba Foundations in response to an urgent need. In many areas, women struggle to afford public transport or simply have no way of reaching hospital in time. The consequences can be fatal.
It has been a challenge for me to afford bus fare to get to the clinic. If I can't make the trip, I miss my appointment and have to reschedule for another day. Fortunately, it has become easier. I simply book an appointment with a Boda girl who calls me on the day I need to go for my clinic session. She comes to pick me up, takes me to the clinic, and then brings me back home.
Basically, we had gaps in accessing the facility, affordability, and also just the women accepting care. Hospital care or healthcare services. Yes, so the complications that would arise most is that mothers could actually die due to postpartum hemorrhage, excessive bleeding at home after delivery. Some women could have elevated blood pressures that they couldn't identify, and this also led to maternal deaths and also perinatal deaths.
The lack of safe and timely transport is closely tied to maternal health outcomes. Health workers in the area report that some women die simply because they cannot get to care quickly enough. For some of the riders, the work is personal.
Fortunately, the program came, and it was, I was told, and I came and applied for the job. Being that I was taken, I felt that I was given that opportunity to save babies that dies before they get to the hospital.
The most recent national figures from UNICEF show over 5,000 women and about 30,000 newborn babies die each year in Kenya due to preventable causes during pregnancy and birth. Initiatives like Boda Girls may not be a full solution, but for the women who use them, the presence of a trusted rider at the right moment can mean the difference between life and death. Africa Bureau, WION, World is One.
And that's what is creating a buzz in Africa this week. Get in touch with us on YouTube, our website, and all our social media platforms and share your story from the continent with us. We'd love to hear from you and highlight it to the world. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
From the Swiss Alps to the world, join the conversation with every idea, every debate, and every leader. Extend Davos beyond the Alps. Watch WION for accurate and insightful coverage of a spirit of dialogue in a fragmenting world. From AI governance to climate finance, WION looks to engage and make complex global issues accessible and relevant for audiences worldwide. We bring you all the action from the world's biggest economic forum. Stay informed, stay connected. Only on WION. World is one.
The world's most powerful minds gather. Decisions that shape our future are made. From the Swiss Alps to you.
The stage is set for the World Economic Forum 2026.
A spirit of dialogue. That is what the theme is for World Economic Forum 2026.
India has sent its highest number of reps and delegates to the forum.
WION deep dives into the significance of what global leaders are deliberating at the World Economic Forum. The coverage features key roundtable discussions every day with top analysts at WION's headquarters. Stay tuned as we break down key themes from the Davos Forum to make it simple and engaging for you, only on WION.
The internet was built to be borderless, but today the lines are being redrawn. Individuals are securing personal data, corporations are moving to local cloud infrastructure, countries are prioritizing digital sovereignty. In 2026, data and digital infrastructure are the new frontline. But how do we build a safer digital future without embracing digital isolation? At Davos 2026, the conversation has shifted from how we connect to how we stay safe. Join us as we sit down with Michael Owens, President, US Global Center for Cyber Policy, Daniel Castro, Vice President of the Information Technology and Innovation Foundation, and Amit Dubey, cybersecurity expert, independent advisor to government and law enforcement. From the studio to ground reports from Davos, watch experts weigh in on the strategic frameworks required to secure nations and individuals in the digital world.